If you've been involved in a car accident or a personal injury claim in Newfoundland or Labrador, you want to know what the components of your personal injury claim are. And in this video, we're going to discover what general damages are and why they should matter to you. So first off, general damages is a component of a personal injury claim. People see it as and understand it as pain and suffering damages. Now, when we think about pain and suffering, this is obviously an individual experience. Everyone will go through the aftermath of an accident or a personal injury claim differently. And so when we think about our friends and family, we all have different lives, and our level of function before an accident is different than what it could be after, depending on the severity of the personal injury sustained and how long those injuries go on for. So when we think about anyone in an accident, I like to think about it on a graph or on a chart here. And so all of us have a level of function before the accident. Some of us have a high level of function and some people have a really low level of function, but we all start somewhere. And so what we're trying to think about is, where are we in our lives and in how much we do at the time of the accident? And then when the accident occurs at a certain point in time, what happens? And so typically we see that people, their function level drops. Of course, they're hurt, they're going through various treatment, they can't do as much, they need help from other people. So people's lives change, their function level drops. And so as time goes on, what happens to that level of function? And typically, people in my world do a couple different things. They either have an increase over time and they return to their prior level of function, or maybe they have some improvement, but then they reach a plateau and they don't make much more of a gain. But some people, they'll keep making a decline. And over time, they'll never progress back to their pre-accident level. When I'm thinking about a general damages claim and thinking about how much a personal injury claim is worth in Newfoundland and Labrador, we have to appreciate the gap from where the person's function was prior to the accident to where it is now. So in the case where somebody's injuries keep on happening and they are continuing over time and they're not going in a positive direction, we have a big gap here between these two levels. This is going to equate to a higher damages claim because there's a significant gap between how somebody was and where they are today. So when we think about the time and think about the future, we're going to have an ongoing gap. Thankfully, in a lot of cases, we see that somebody has a consistent level of recovery, but there's still a gap. They haven't returned to their pre-accident function. This person has plateaued, and we can measure that gap as well. It's not as large as the person who has regressed. And then, of course, we have the best case for an individual person. They make a full recovery. They've come back to where they were before. But what have they lost? Well, they've lost a degree of function, their capacity for a period of time. They've lost function all the way until they've made a recovery. And in this case, we're measuring that gap. So these are the three types of people that I see when assessing a personal injury claim. I'm measuring their pain, their function, their loss of ability to do what's important to them. So think about your friends and family in Newfoundland. What do they do? What do they do per season? What do they do per week? Do they go to school? Do they do sports? What do they do at home? What are they responsible for? How about their dependents? How about their loved ones? What is the quality of life that somebody had versus what they have now? That, as a personal injury lawyer, is what we're trying to assess. And whether it comes from a slip and fall accident in Newfoundland or a car accident in Newfoundland or anything else, if negligence was involved, there is a personal injury claim. This is what general damages is trying to consider. The great job of a personal injury lawyer is when they assess through medical evidence this gap, and they can say with accuracy, all right, client, this is what we expect in the future based on your medical records, based on the opinion of physicians and other medical professionals who have assessed you. Here's what your injury claim is worth based on what the law provides. You can have that conversation with your lawyer. You should be on the same page. And once there's agreement on what that component of your claim is, what your general damages are worth, you can then go into a negotiation plan. You always want to know how much your claim is worth before you start negotiating, or else it's unlikely that you're going to come up with a fair result once the negotiation process occurs. If you have questions about how much your claim is worth, how to assess pain and suffering damages in your case, please contact my office. Nova Injury Law represents clients across Newfoundland and Labrador after they've sustained injuries in a car accident, a slip and fall, or some other type of event. If those questions are on your mind and you're wondering what to do, just contact my office. We'll get you answers to your questions the very same day. Take care.